Everybody, and welcome to your first video lecture for English 1A. I'm your instructor, Erin Fujinami, and this lecture is going to go over just sort of basic information that you need about our syllabus before we get started for class. So with all of my lectures, I always have the fair warning that I have kids and dogs and other people in my home. So if one of them makes a surprise appearance, then sorry, I do my best to keep it quiet around here while I'm lecturing, but we're all living in very different times, right? So bear with me. Okay, so this is our syllabus for English 1A. You can follow along with me if you would like to have your own syllabus open on Canvas. You can do that, or by all means, you could print it out. Otherwise, I'm just sharing my screen with you, so you should be able to see everything that I see. So on the first page of the syllabus, you've got all of the relevant information, our English 1A class, the section number, units, my name, my email address, the division phone number if you need to reach them for any reason, and then my office hours. Obviously, especially right now, they're only going to be by appointment, and I hold office hours via Zoom, so we can video chat or we can just chat without the video if that's better for you. If you would like to schedule a time to meet with me for office hours, I encourage you to do that, and you can email me either on Canvas or you can send a message on the Remind app. The Remind app is also really good for just quick questions because that goes straight to my phone just like a text message. So I'm usually able to answer questions pretty quickly there, whereas my email I check during business hours Monday through Friday. Okay, basic information about our course. Required readings are all free, so there's no need to buy a textbook for our course. If you would prefer to have a hard copy of the novel that we're reading, The Awakening, then you can order one, and I like this particular version, so if you're going to order one, you can get that one. If you have a different version already, or you've already ordered a different one, that's fine too. There's not a whole lot of difference between most of the versions that are out there. This is also a good resource here, the Reading and Writing Handbook for the college student, but that's just recommended. You don't have to have it, but if you would like to, that's a good resource too. Other required materials that you need for class. The first thing you need, obviously, is access to Canvas, right? So if Canvas is new to you, that's fine. Just, ask questions when you need help and check out the Canvas tutorial that I'm going to be posting as well. And then keep track of those resources that I will be posting too that have things like numbers for the help desk, numbers for Canvas support, and so on. And lots of tutorials to help walk you through Canvas if it's new to you. Pens and pencils, we still need things to write with. I would recommend having like a notebook or a binder that's just for this class, or if you're doing everything electronically, then just a folder would be fine too. Highlighters, you will need to have some way of highlighting your readings, and you can either print them out and highlight them that way, or if you have a program online that you can use on, your phone, your tablet, your computer, that's fine as well. But you will need to turn in annotations, which are your highlighted, sort of marked up readings from time to time in class. So just start looking for a way of doing that. Print card and money for printing, you don't necessarily need that. If you would like to print your things out at home to have hard copies of our readings that I'm providing for you, then that's totally fine. But again, that's optional. Same with the stapler and paper clips. We don't need those because we are doing everything virtually now. Your course objectives for English 1A are all here. So if you're ever wondering why I'm making you do something, why are we writing this? Why are we reading this? It's to meet one of these objectives or these student learning outcomes. Your course description and prerequisite is there. That was my dog. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's making some funny noises for us. Grading and assignments. So this is one of the things that students definitely typically have questions about. So this is our grading breakdown. Your small writing assignments, meaning your essay drafts, things that we do for homework, those add up to about 350 points. Your big essays, these are the final drafts of your major 3 essays for class, are 100 points, 100 points, and 200 points. Quizzes and exams add up to 150 points, and then your final exam is 100 points. So the total possible points is right around 1,000. Sometimes this changes slightly if I get rid of an assignment for some reason or, change a point value here and there, but it's pretty close to 1,000 points possible. So what that means for you is that your grading breakdown is if you have 90% of the points available and you score to earn 90% and above, that is an A. 80 to 89% is a B. 70 to 79% is a C. 60 to 69% is a D. And anything below 60 is an F. You should have access to your grades on Canvas very regularly. I do my very best to keep things updated so that you can always know where you stand. And if you ever have any questions about your grades, why you got the grade that you did, or if it looks like I made an error on something, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know so that I can look into it and fix it. So that brings us to the different types of assignments we have in class. Small writing assignments are what make up a pretty significant portion of your grade. So this is the 350 point category. So that works out to about 35% of your grade. I try and balance things pretty equally so that if you're not great at, exams or if you're not great at essays, you can still earn a significant amount of points by just doing your homework. And that's what this section is all about. So you'll regularly have homework assignments where you're chatting on Canvas, doing discussion board posts and that kind of stuff. These are typically due for your class Wednesday and Friday. And you need to turn those in after you've done your readings and things like that. So these will be due each week and they'll happen from the first week of class all the way towards the end of class. Quizzes and exams. We have quizzes and exams that are spread out throughout the semester. So instead of having a big midterm and that's kind of it for the exams in the class, I kind of spread out the quizzes and exams. So you have 5 quizzes and they're sort of evenly spaced throughout the semester, and you have 4 exams throughout the semester. And the quizzes are worth 10 points, exams are worth 25, and then the final exam is worth 100. This way, I just find that usually the information is a little bit more fresh in your mind, and you tend to do better on the quizzes and exams when you're being tested on information that you've read, pretty recently. So that's why I do it that way. Also, with quizzes only being worth 10 points, if you miss one or you don't do great on a quiz, it's not going to kill your grade, and you can make up those 10 points by, making sure you're on top of your homework or going to some extra credit tutoring or something like that. So we don't want the quizzes and exams to be scary. Essays, obviously we are an English class, so essays are a big part of the process, right? So you do have those 3 major essays to write. The biggest thing that I would like to remind you guys about in terms of essays is that your essays are a process. So the way that I see writing and the way that I teach writing is that everything's a process. You're not going to write a first draft and it's going to be perfect and wonderful. So we are going to be writing drafts of our essays, and the way that I grade essays is that as long as you turn in a draft to me on time and it's the page length that I've asked for, then you automatically get an A on that draft. And the drafts are worth 25 points, so that's as much as getting an A on an exam. So it's a big thing to make sure you get those drafts in. Once you turn in your drafts, then what happens is I will give you written feedback individually. So I'll read through your essay, give you some notes on what I'd like you to work on, and then it's your job to take those notes and apply them when you revise. Then you turn in the final draft of the essay, and that's when the essay is worth the 100 points or the 200 points for that last essay that we do. So you're working on your essays in groups, you're working on them with assignments on Canvas, you get written feedback from me, and you automatically get an A for effort if you are turning in that draft. So try and just embrace this whole writing as a process thing and try not to let it freak you out too very much. Okay, course policies. We have an attendance policy, and this, most of my classes are usually very full. So this one is when I'm recording this, is already completely full. So please make sure that you are logging into Canvas and doing your work so that I know you plan on staying in the class and I don't drop you and give your spot to somebody else. So make sure that you are participating. If something happens where you can't participate but you do want to stay in the class, just let me know what's going on so that I can save your spot. People who miss during the first couple of weeks, and in online classes, missing means that you haven't done your work, may be dropped for non-attendance. If for some reason you need to drop the class because this course just isn't the best fit for you for whatever reason, make sure that you do drop yourself from class so that you don't get a failing grade. Important dates to remember, the last day to add a class with a code is on the 30th. The last day to drop with a refund is the 21st. Last day to drop without a refund, also the 30th. The last day to drop with a W is not until October 9th. Makeup and late work. I typically do not accept any late work unless there's really an emergency that's happening. However, there are lots of ways that you can avoid getting a 0 on an assignment because you didn't turn it in. So if you have something going on where you can't do your work as planned, you can always turn things into Canvas early. I make sure that most of your assignments are due at least 1 week, if not more than that, before they're due. So you have an entire week to figure out when you can, make time for that assignment. In in-person classes, you can turn it into my box in the office, but that's not an option here. Same with sending your work to class with a friend, but you can always email me your work if you absolutely need to. And you can ask me for extra time if something comes up. So don't be afraid to let me know and just ask for an extension. In addition to just emergencies happening, I understand that sometimes life happens, right? So you forget something or you just do really poorly on an assignment. That's what this plea is for. So you get a one-time opportunity throughout the semester to use this thing called a plea if necessary. So here's how it works. Within 1 week of a missed assignment, contact me to discuss making up the missed assignment, and you can do that with no penalty. We'll work out the details about how and when you'll submit. However, once you've used your plea, you cannot use it again. And the plea can't be used once we start work on Essay 3, and there's no benefit to saving it, so I definitely recommend using it at some point if you need to. So just think of it as like your get out of jail free card. You have an opportunity to just mess up and just let me know, hey, I need to use my plea, and we'll work out the details. Accessing Canvas and your student email is very important, especially with an online class. I know that maybe you didn't envision your fall 20 semester going like this. So if Canvas or your email or whatever part of the online experience is new to you, I understand, and I'm definitely here to help. So let me know if you're having problems with any of that, and I'm happy to point you to some resources that can help you get more familiar with it. Collaboration and community in the classroom. It's very important right now when we're all sort of socially distant from each other and we're not in class face to face to feel like you have some people in class who you can, lean on and get help from. So I've put everybody into groups, and I will talk about that when we go over our Canvas introduction. But you should definitely look to your groups for help. And also feel free to get to know anybody else in the class who's not in your group and, work together on assignments, talk about your papers together, work with our tutors. We've got lots of good options, even though we're not meeting face to face. That doesn't mean that you're taking this class alone, right? Technology use for online classes. Again, it's important that you get familiar with Canvas. It's important that you check your student email daily for important announcements and reminders. And for this class, we also have the Remind app. So I would like you to download this free app. It's called Remind. And there are directions here for how to do that. So you're going to text @efujinami to 81010 and then follow the directions to get yourself added to our class. Now, this name that you are texting will change from class to class, and I do have more than one English 1A class. So please refer to your email from me. That will have the correct Remind app instructions, so you make sure you get added to the right course. Once you've added that Remind app to your phone or to whatever device you're using, you'll be able to basically text me and your classmates through the app. It's the fastest way to ask me questions and get a quick response, and I also use that to send out reminders and announcements. We use Zoom to meet virtually. If you'd like to meet with me for any reason, to chat about your grade, to get help with something, whatever it might be, just let me know that you'd like a meeting and we'll set it up on Zoom. Also, I use video lectures since lecturing in person isn't an option this semester. So if you're seeing this, you're already well on your way to video lectures. We'll have a couple of these each week that deal with different topics. Academic integrity. Please make sure that you're not using anybody else's work, and here's the policy regarding that. If that is, something that happens, then we'll have to deal with it. Hopefully it won't be an issue. Accommodations for students with disabilities. Make sure that if you have any sort of accommodation that you need, that you contact me right away so I can make sure that you have everything you need in place to succeed. Extra help. We have lots of extra help available on campus, and even with our campus closed, all of those things have sort of moved to an online or virtual format. So the first one I want to talk about is tutoring options. We've got online tutoring available for free, which is just a huge resource to have right now. So I definitely recommend doing that. Also, you can earn up to 50 points of extra credit for attending tutoring. And that is a huge amount of extra credit. It's probably the only extra credit that I'll offer during this semester. So if you want extra credit, this is your chance. You can go to their website here and just keep track of your tutoring time that you have spent. It's your sort of job to write down the dates and times and who you went to tutoring with and what you worked on. And you will turn those things in at the end of the semester, the very last week of class. You also have an opportunity to earn extra credit by working in your groups. So remember when I mentioned that I have put you all into groups, you can see your group by logging on to Canvas, and in the first weekly module, you can see who's in your group, and then you can send them a text on Remind, or you can send them an email through Canvas. You can set up your own group page on Canvas even. So there are lots of cool options for how to keep in touch with your group. So the same thing here, you can earn up to 25 points of extra credit for working with your group. And you just need to keep track of who you are working with, what you are working on, and then just like dates and times, keep track of all that stuff, and you'll turn all of this in together at the very end of the semester to collect that extra credit and boost your grade a bit. My portal, this is where you start to access everything you need from Canvas to student email to web advisor, all of that stuff. So there's a link here in our syllabus on Canvas. You can click on these links to take you to the places that you need to go. Canvas support. This website has a bunch of videos and tutorials about how to use Canvas. This is information about the bookstore, the library, student services, and other helpful programs that we have on campus. And remember that all of these are still operating. They're just doing things virtually now. Other resources to help you with life beyond just the classroom, some health and wellness support that we have available on campus because 2020 has been a rough year for me. I don't know about anyone else, but those are useful things to have. And the RAM pantry too. I believe they're still able to do things via like a drive-through pickup. So we've got free food assistance programs that are offered to our students. Definitely take advantage of this stuff as well. Okay, so that is the syllabus. The next thing I'm going to run through really quickly is the schedule of classes. So this is our schedule. Each week I will post a weekly schedule that will show you everything that you need for that particular week. And again, those will all be on Canvas. But here's a brief rundown of how to read that schedule. So the first column shows the date in the week. This is important for Canvas because everything's organized by week. So the documents you need for the first week are in week 1, the second week are in week 2, and so on. So that's what this is, the week and then the date. The second one, second column, shows everything that you need to read, do, and watch throughout that week. Look on Canvas for detailed descriptions of each assignment and for links to those various readings and all of that good stuff. But this is a list of everything that you need to read and do and watch for that particular week. And then the third column is just sort of a reminder column. It's got due dates and reminders for the week. So week number 1, your readings are the syllabus and the schedule of classes. We're also going to be reading Shitty First Drafts. And then you see that you also have lectures to watch. So that's the syllabus overview, which you're watching right now. And then the intro to Canvas, which you should also watch early in the first week of class. You would also have some discussions to complete. Discussions are like our homework assignments that we do. This is most of your work for class, aside from the big essays. So you've got discussion 1 and discussion 2 that are both due during that first week, and then quizzes and exams. So you can see that you have quiz 1 is due this week. And then that brings us to this column where it tells you things that are due. So for your class, discussions are due Wednesday and Friday each week. You'll need to have read assigned readings and watched those assigned lectures before completing your discussions. And then you see a little bit more info here. Discussion 1 is due Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. Quiz number 1 is also due Wednesday by 11:59 p.m., but this is an extra credit quiz. So low stakes. I'd recommend working with your groups to kind of get to know each other and work together on that. And then discussion 2, and that discussion has to do with that reading Shitty First Drafts, and that's due Friday by 11:59 p.m. So that is the schedule of classes. You can see that the schedule of classes is all filled out all the way through the end of the semester. So if you have anything coming up or going on in your life and you need to sort of plan ahead, you can see when things are due. You can see when your big essays start to be due and that kind of thing so that you can plan ahead, because I know a lot of us are facing really challenging times in terms of, working and dealing with, ourselves or loved ones maybe becoming sick or needing our care. Dealing with childcare, right? So I realize that all of those are very real concerns for everybody. So I do my best to really stick to this schedule so that you can work ahead and know when things are due so that you can make time for those things in your already busy life. So feel free to look ahead and, make note of when big assignments are due. And if you ever see anything and you want to work ahead but it's not posted yet, you can ask me and I'll be happy to put that up for you as soon as I'm able to. But usually you'll see several weeks of things are already available. Like on Canvas right now, when I'm recording this a week before our first class even, you already have at least 2 weeks worth of work that you could be logging on and doing if you would like to. So stuff is available for you early. Okay, so that is the syllabus. You scroll all the way up to the top here. So here's my email address if you need to reach me. I definitely recommend getting into that Remind app as soon as possible, and then get onto Canvas and start checking out, your groups and how Canvas looks and whatnot. Welcome to class, and I'm